All right. So the surface area of prisms and cylinders. All right. So let me see if you understand what I'm saying now. If I were to take this and I would slice it so I could lay it out. All right. So I'm going to cut it right here, and I'm going to lay it out. All right, now please watch what I'm trying to show you. So when I lay it out, I want you to understand that that would be the cardboard. Think of it as like a cardboard box. Everybody agree with that? So this right here would be 12. Then this one right here would be how much? 10. And then this right here would be what? 12. And then this right here would be what? And that would be 10. Bless you. All right? So that's what I'm trying to demonstrate. Everybody see that? No? This right here, I'll go slow for you. Hold on a minute. I'm showing you. This right here is this length right here. Then this represents this. This back wall represents this wall. And then this represents that. So if I were to just listen, if I were to fold it on this mark right here, this mark right here, this mark right here, I would hope that your brain can see that's the what? That's the outside of the box. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. I don't care about anything else other than trying to get you to understand that little concept right there. Anybody have any questions? Does that make sense now? Or does anybody have any questions? That is called the lateral area. I don't really ever ask you to find the lateral area. All right? The lateral area is just the area of the walls. That's all it is. The surface area is considered the lateral area plus the bases. All right? That's what it is. I don't ever distinguish between the two because if you ever come to a word problem like paint the office, normally you don't paint the ceiling and paint the floor. So you'd be smart enough to say you really just want to paint the walls. The lateral area is a fancy word for painting the what? The walls. Right? That's all they're asking. That's the only difference. I don't care about the lateral area. Whenever I ask you a question, I'm going to say find the what? Surface area. Some questions will say find the lateral area and find the surface area. Right? Well, if you find the surface area, you had to have found the what? The lateral area. All right? So now, please watch this quick little demonstration. All right? So, instead of doing them individually, instead of saying this right here, length is 12, 12. Does everybody see where the 12 is coming from, right? Because that's the what? That's the height. Right? What does 12 plus 10 plus 12 plus 10 represent? What does it represent? It represents the perimeter. Thank you very much. So the perimeter of the prism, the perimeter of the base. You with me? Right? Because that's what we just said. 12, 10, 12, 10 represents. Going around, 12, 10, 12, 10. That represents the what? The perimeter. So my formula that I wish you would understand would be the surface area is 2 times the area of the base plus the perimeter times the height. Is everybody good with that? That is the general formula for surface area of any prism. So right now you can find the area or you can find the surface area of any prism. Right? It is simply the what? Perimeter times the height. And the perimeter times the height is the lateral area, but I don't care about that, plus 2 times the area of the base. All right? Is everybody okay with that? That's all there is to it. Now, you can look at it as individual rectangles and say there's 6 rectangles. I'm going to find the area of every single rectangle and add them up. That's what I teach my 6th graders, and that's what they do. All right? But we're a little bit more advanced than that. I would like for you to see that as 2 times the area of the base plus the perimeter times the height. All right? So now, you should be able to say then that the surface area is just 2 times 120 plus the perimeter would be 44 times the height, which is what? 12. All right, so now take out your handy dandy calculator, and your surface area is equal to somebody said 768 square yards. 768 square yards. Does everybody agree how simple that is? And again, like I said, I'm not even asking you to break it all down. I'm just asking you to understand the formula. All right, if somebody asks you for the perimeter, you just figure out what the perimeter is. Use your calculator. All right? So here we go for question number 2. Surface area. Notice I left out the what? The lateral area. All right? So for question number 2, 2 times the area of the base. And in this case, the base was 96. Very good. Plus, now the perimeter is what? 40. All right, now the quickest way to find the perimeter is to add the length and the width and multiply that by what? 2. That's the quickest way. Don't multiply the length by 2 and the width by 2 and add them together. Add the length and the width and multiply by 2. So in this case, the perimeter would be what? 40, and the height would be 6. All right? Yes, ma'am. I multiplied 8 times 12 to find the area of the base. All right? Capital B stands for the area of the base. I found the perimeter. The perimeter. All right. So my surface area, again, somebody help me? 432 square meters. 432 square meters. All right? Now, again, the shape doesn't matter because we know the formula. Because it is a prism. All right? So all we're doing in this case is finding the area of the base. So it's going to be 2 times 1/2. What's the
base is the square though? No, because there always has to be.
The base is the what?
The triangle.
The triangle. The base is the triangle.
They're all triangles.
No, they're not all triangles.
I mean, they're all
They're rectangles. The sides, the walls are rectangles. The base is a triangle. So it's 1/2 times what?
10 times 8.
No, you guys are killing me.
It's 24.
What is it?
8 times
8. 8 times. Tell them. 8 times 6. All right. 8 times 6. All right. The height is not 10. Listen to me. Everybody in here should be able to find the base and height of the triangle. Look at the right angle. I've told you the right angle points to the base and height of the triangle. So just to make myself clear, this is the right angle. That points to the base and the height. All right? So the base and the height are 8 and 6. So 2 times 1/2 times 8 times 6 plus the perimeter of the base, which is 24. Oh my goodness. Times the height, which is what?
6.
No, 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 no. The height is the
5.
distance between the two triangles.
5.
It is 5. I did the perimeter of the base. I did the perimeter of the base. Some of you are stuck with the fact that it's not sitting on its base. Don't think of what a shape sits on. That's on a lot of standardized tests as well. All right, they put a shape that everybody knows, and they put it on its side, and they automatically assume that what it's sitting on is the base. The base is not what the shape sits on. The base is the two sides that are parallel to each other, that are exactly the same. So in this case, let me make myself clear. The base here is the what? The base is, in fact, the triangle. The base is the triangle. All right? So what is the perimeter of the base? 10 plus 8 plus 6. I was just hoping you could add that quickly.
I can add that.
Take your calculator out and add that for me. What?
You said they had to be equal, so if it was like a rhombus in like 3D, could you not do those only right bases?
Yeah. So it's not considered a prism if the bases are not equal. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, I was asking.
No. Right.
Are they not?
Yeah, no. Because, again, why? Because all the walls are slanted. You see what I'm saying? All right. So, again, for a rectangle, or for a prism, the bases are always the same. Now, you can have a tilted prism, right? And it would be considered an oblique, but we're not going to deal with that right now. All right. So, again, the final surface area for number 3 is what?
168.
I'm agreeing. 168 square inches. 168 square inches. All right. All right. So question number 4. Here we go. Now that you're more familiar, the surface area, 2 times the area of the base. So you're going to do 2 times 1/2 enough that you're just going to say it's really just what? Base times height. Right? Because they cancel out. So in this case, it's just going to be 7.8 times 9. Now look, if you're not sure about something, I want you to tell, but I want you to follow along with me. So you understand there's 2 bases, but the base is a triangle, correct? So 2 times 1/2 does what? Cancels out. So it's just the base and height of the triangle that I'm multiplying. Yes?
Okay, so if it's base times height and triangle is the base, I get how it's 9. Oh, never mind.
All right, good. All right, perfect.
Sorry.
All right, plus, now I want the perimeter. What's the perimeter?
8 or 27.
Yes, 27. All right, and then the height of the prism is what?
12.
12. Now, we really didn't need for them to tell us that was 7.8. I prefer that you would say it is what?
4.5.
Thank you very much for those guys who said that. 4.5 radical 3. Very good. Because it's an equilateral triangle, that's one of the few things that is they're keeping on the SAT, is that you have to know the 30, 60, 90 triangle and the rules for that. Yes.
You know it's equilateral.
Yes.
Of the right angle.
No, because this guy right here is 9.
Okay.
So this is 9. So all 9s are equal.
And is the height 12 because it's the length of the distance of the 2?
Yes, okay, so I'm glad you said that, just to make sure I'm clear with everybody on this. The height of the prism is 12. That's where a lot of kids make some mistakes, is that they confuse the height, little h, with capital H. Little h is always the height of the base. Capital H is the height of the prism. Hope you listen to what I just said. Little h represents the height of the base. Capital H represents the height of the prism. All right? So 12 represents capital H. 4.5 radical 3 represents lowercase h. All right? Because it's a 30, 60, 90 triangle. It's a 30, 60, 90 triangle. Opposite.
Okay.
You good now? Opposite of 30 is half the hypotenuse. Besides the fact that, remember, when you draw this in, that bisects 9 to make it 4.5. All right? So now, again, this is why I get irritated sometimes, because people, now when I ask them what the surface area of a cylinder, they think it's like, wow, how do you remember all these formulas? I'm not memorizing these formulas. I simply understand what surface area is. Surface area are 2 bases. So I look at the cylinder. What is the base? The base is a circle. So I have 2 circles. So surface area is equal to 2 pi r squared plus the perimeter times the height. But we don't call the perimeter of a circle perimeter. We call it its circumference. So I change out the P and write in there 2 pi r. Now, I don't mind if you do pi times d. All right, it's okay. But for whatever reason, I think I kind of understand, because they chose an r in here, they just went ahead and chose a what? An r over here. All right, does that make sense? So if you write pi dh, there's nothing wrong with that. But you will see, if you ever look up formulas, it'll say 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi rh. All right, that's why I'm saying, if you understand what a prism is, you understand easily what the surface area is. All right, it's very simple. All right, and all the time they put these formulas on the test, they act as if they don't put them on there, you guys can't remember it. There's nothing to do with that. Understand the formula. All right, now, what is, for question number 5, what's the radius?
6.
So 2 pi times 6 squared plus 2 times pi times 6 times 10. Of course. What? There is no height of the base. The height of the base. There is no height for circle. True?
Yeah.
So he is technically correct. I should put that a capital H there. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry. Capital H instead of lowercase h. All right, because I knew you were confused about the height of the circle.
Well,
All right.
said that whole thing about.
All right, here we go. Blah, blah, blah. So 72 pi plus what? 120 pi. Hopefully you ended up with what?
192 pi.
Wrong. 192 pi
Inches
squared.
inches squared.
That's what I did end up with.
What?
Yes. Always put the units.
Are you gonna?
Yes, for you especially.
Or else?
All right.
Can you not? Oh.
Question number 6. Yes, go.
What makes something a
Okay, so very easy. You see how it has 2 bases, and the bases are equal.
Yeah.
Right?
What makes if there's just a figure and the bases are
What about
And pretty soon, like this week right here, later on, we'll be talking about pyramids and cones. All right, so they're just different shapes. Today we're doing prisms. Tomorrow is going to be cones and pyramids. Cone is a pyramid. What?
What about lateral area? What's that?
The lateral area is just, remember, the area of all the sides. So the lateral area technically is just the perimeter times the height. Yes, ma'am.
I got this one.
Which one? Oh, tell me the answer,
16
please.
pi.
Oh, I'll tell you
Meter
the answer.
squared.
Yes, what is it?
Okay, well, you have to tell the formula or the answer.
I want
The answer.
whatever you have.
Oh.
Okay, so I have 2 pi, 2 times, 2 pi, 2 squared, plus pi 4 times 2.
Beautiful. So what's that final answer?
16
I
pi.
can plug in numbers.
What do you mean? It's 50.26.
Or we could say 16 pi.
Yeah. Oh, do you want to do that? Okay.
Leave it in terms of pi.
That's,
And don't forget the meters squared. All right.
Oh, no,
Wait
this
a
one is not on
second.
the base.
Hold up.
how do I do this? They just have sides. What?
What? So
Hey, you're smart. I wrote down this. Is this the same as that? Can we justify that? Did you look at it? Great. He texted on. Mine doesn't look the same as that. Yeah.
what?
It's probably wrong.
Okay, so help me out with question number 7.
Wait. Okay. So.
Go.
Alright. So define the area of this
Oh my
line.
god, it's so
It's
adorable.
2 pi times 3 squared plus 2 pi times 3 times
3 pi.
2. So it goes 18, or wait, no, 18 pi plus 12 pi equals 35.
Wow, look at that. Without a calculator.
Nice job, Owen. Yay.
All right, check out number 8.
Wait,
Uh-oh.
what's the answer?
Oh,
You can't add those two things together.
Surface area equals
Scroll up.
Go square
It's
yard.
actually scrolling
I'm
to the
listening.
side.
2 pi r squared plus t, so 128, or no, yeah, 128 pi plus 12 times 16 pi. So then it becomes surface area equals 128 pi plus 192 pi. And then it becomes 320 square.
Am I good?
Well. Stop.
All right. So just a quick little review for question number 3.
What
Wait,
is
so
that?
the base
It's
the
not
base is the
hard.
octagon.
It's just triangle.
It's a spaceship.
Oh,
Oh, no, we have to do that area thing again. So
hate
bad.
that.
I
So
hate
all the
that. I
triangles
hate that.
Do this
Right.
until lady.
So all the triangles are equal on
Alright, that's
I
okay.
saw-
Alex,
We gotta be annoyed
I can't wait to email your
I wasn't
mom.
looking
Listen
at
to her whine.
Tell her to bring me a tennis.
Listen to her
Tell
whine.
her bring me a tennis racket.
I've never seen that shape. What's the point of that?
Here we go.
It's a pentagonal
It's a
with
space shuttle.
Various things that
Obviously,
Yeah.
it's
It's
a
a hexagon.
Okay, now the difference for us now is that we have to find the area of the hexagon. And again, for this, no. I really would like it an exact answer. All right, so 2 times the area of the base. All right, now the base is a hexagon. All right, so we know that it's going to be 2 times 6 times 1/2 times 2 times, hopefully you see it's radical 3. All right.
The one.
All right, reviewing for you. The 2 comes from the fact that the base is twice. The 6 comes from the fact that the hexagon is broken down into 6 congruent triangles. So it's 6 times 1/2 base times height. So the base of the triangle that you formed was 2. And it's an equilateral, so this is 1. And the height itself, right? The height itself would be the square root of 3.
Then why is 2 the base and why is 1 not base?
Why is what?
Why is 2 the base if you're using little t tiny triangle?
Well, because the 1 is used so I can find the height.
Okay. Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Wait.
I got you.
All right, so from there, all right, that right there represents 2 times the area of the base. All right, 2 times the area of the base. Now, again, it's going to have to be a regular hexagon. If it's not regular, then all of the walls could be different. All right, so in this case, because it's regular, we know that it would be plus the perimeter. And the perimeter in this case would just be 6 times 2 times the height, which is what? 11. All right? So as you work this thing through, you should be able to see that it is 12 radical 3 plus 132 square meters.
It's the 1/2 like algebra.
What?
Good observation.
Why would it be times 2?
There are 2 bases.
Yeah, I know, but if you're finding the wait.
So this right here represents the area of the hexagon.
Yeah, but why is it times 2 for the other one?
Because there's a hexagon here and a hexagon here. So there are 2 hexagons.
Wait, no, I get that, but if you're finding the perimeter, why would it be 6 times 2 times 11? Why would it be 6 times 11?
I'm doing the perimeter of the base.
Oh, you
What
wanna-
is the perimeter?
No, I get it.
Right? The perimeter is 6 times 2. This represents the perimeter of the base. And 11 represents the height of the prism. Yes, quick.
Oh, like the 1/2.
Yes, exactly. The math is easy. All right, the math is easy. Yeah, when you multiply by 11, to do 12 times 11 in your head, you write down the 1, then you add 1 plus 2, and then you bring the 2 down. That's how simple. All right, anytime you multiply by 11, all right, for example, 1, 4, 5 times 11, 1, 5, 9,
Oh, I
5.
remember you told us that.
Yes. All right, bring down the
What'd you
1,
just do?
then you add consecutive. 1 plus 4 is 5. 4 plus 5 is 9.
And then just the
And then
last
the
digit.
5. Right. The
So
first
it
and
goes
last.
like 4, 7, 4.
Okay, so now look, there is a problem, however, if you do 47 times 11. So you would put down 4, and then you would add that, and you would get what? So it would become 517, right? Because you can't put an 11 there. There's only one number, so it's like you carry, right? You carry. That's it.
I carry.
What?
Wait, so can we go back to
I thought 12 times 11
What?
was.
that is 1233 plus 132 meters squared. Is that the answer?
Final answer.
You don't like to add.
How are you going to add 12 radical 3 and square root of 132? So when you take your entrance exam, you're going to mess that up. This is an irrational. This is rational.
Okay.
You don't add them together. Irrationals and rationals. All right? You don't add radicals with rationals. All right. So your job, obviously, finish up. All right? Finish those up. Very simple. Get to work.
Wait, there's